In 2.5 weeks, we've got the state election here in Victoria. Is this the first time the Liberal Democrats are running candidates here?
No, we ran 4 years ago. We only got registered about a month before the election, and I have to say we weren't as organised as we'd like to have been last time. We came reasonably close to winning a seat, but we didn't. But this time we're having a red-hot go at it.
So how many candidates are you running?
Well, 17, I think, for the upper house. There are 8 regions. You need 2 candidates in each region, and I think one region we've got 3, but we're also running in 4 lower house seats.
Oh, which seats are those?
So I'm trying to make sure I get this right. East Gippsland, Brunswick, Melbourne and Northcote.
Okay, well, Brunswick, Melbourne and Northcote, East Gippsland's a different kettle of fish, but Brunswick, Melbourne and Northcote are, you know, all seats that the Greens either hold or want to seize from Labor. What sort of votes are you hoping to attract there?
Well, it depends on where the Liberals run. If voters have both the Liberal Democrats and the Liberal Party to run, to choose between, then our vote obviously is somewhere between 5 and 10%. If the Liberals are not running, our vote could be much, much higher than that, because there's a lot of people in those seats who wouldn't vote for either Labor or the Greens as long as what they want not pointed to the ground.
The seat I live in, which is the seat of Richmond, another one of those seats, does not have a Liberal candidate this time round. It's a battle between Labor and Greens and a couple of different sorts of socialists. I mean, maybe you should think about running a candidate there.
I've already, just this afternoon, lodged our nominations. Perhaps we should have included that one.
Okay, is there? I mean, I remember when you won your federal Senate seat for New South Wales. A lot of people said, "Well, you were just lucky. A, you were I think near the left-hand side of the ballot paper for the Senate, and B, of course, a lot of people might have confused Liberal Democrat with the Liberal Party. Do you still rely a bit on that confusion to garner votes?
We try not to, but I mean, there are 2 types of voters, very broadly speaking. There are those who know what they're doing and who they're voting for, and then those who wish they didn't have to vote, wouldn't vote if it wasn't compulsory, and they get in and out as quick as they can, and anything that looks vaguely attractive they'll vote for. Now, you know, can I say that there's nobody looks at that, sees Liberal Democrats and says, oh, that's the Liberals, I'll vote for them? I have no idea. It's a secret ballot, and I imagine there are people who do that. Pretty sure some people did that in 2013 when I was first elected. Of course, I was elected again in 2016 in the double dissolution, and I'm not sure that there were a lot of people who confused us with the Liberals at that election, but that was New South Wales. This is Victoria, and there has been less exposure of the party in Victoria than in New South Wales. So there may well be some who will vote for us because they think we're the Liberals.
If you'd like to ask Senator Leyonhjelm a question, if you're contemplating voting for the Liberal Democrats, you might be living in one of those seats that doesn't actually have a Liberal candidate. 96900 693 13 13 32. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. I mean, that's the past. What are your issues? What are you standing for? Why should people vote for you?
Well, the Liberal Democrats are what we call Libertarian Party, small government, less regulation, leaving people alone, lower taxes, getting people out, getting the government out of your pocket and off your back, to summarise it. So there are multiple issues that fall into that category. Some of the ones that we are focusing on in this election campaign, to the extent that we can make our voices heard above the noise coming from the major parties, things like fiscal responsibility, 33,000 extra public servants in Victoria since the Labor government's been in power.
So you think we've got too many public servants?
We have too many public servants in every state in Australia and in Canberra. Way, way too many. We don't need any.
Yeah, I mean, you've been a politician in Canberra now for 3.5 years. Four and a half. 4.5 years, sorry. What is it with public servants? Why does almost no political party, either Labor or Liberal, seem to be able to do anything about their numbers? Why do they multiply like cockroaches?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Basically because, notwithstanding what they both say, they both have this naive confidence, if you ask me, that somehow or other the government can fix everything. That instead of letting people fix things themselves, relying on their own money or their own resources or their own ingenuity or knowing what's best for them, that somehow or other the government can introduce a program, run some sort of scheme in order to make things better, and that they know what's best for a lot of people as well. Now, you can't run a program in which you tell people how to live their lives or supposedly help them live their lives in a better way without public servants. So every time some politician says, I've got a bright idea, why don't we do X? You can just about guarantee it will involve more public service.
So if some of your candidates do get elected, you'll, pardon me, exert some pressure to try and reduce the size of the public service.
Absolutely correct. So what's likely to happen is any of our candidates who get elected to the upper house, and along with probably 2 or 3 other parties as well, will hold the balance of power in the Legislative Council. Now, we're actually quite good at using that balance of power, even though I haven't been able to have a huge effect on the public service in Canberra. I have actually pushed them in the right direction quite a few times. We also have one of our guys in the Western Australian Parliament, in the Legislative Council, the upper house, and he's doing the same thing. He's doing a great job pushing them towards trying to live within their budget, not spending money on ridiculous things.
All right, well...